ministry fam. It's your girl Amanda back again with another Sunday So What summer edition with our incredible interns, Kristen, Haley, Diego, and Noah. And so we are so excited to recap and go over Drew's message from this morning, which was so good. So if you have not watched it, we encourage you to go hop online and watch it. But before we start, we are going to ask them a fun question, kind of keep up tradition from the last couple of weeks. Being that it's summer, we thought it'd be fun to ask, what is y'all's favorite ice cream?
So mine, a lot of people don't know what it is. You can find it at Walmart. It's called French Silk. Okay, now bear with me. It's like a coffee kind of chocolate mix. It's really good. Y'all should go check it out. Find it. It's a hidden gem. Eat it with some chocolate graham crackers.
So if y'all are bougie like Kristen, go check that out.
Mine's just mint chocolate chip. Love it. It's the best.
I'm also a fan of mint chocolate chip.
Hey, let's go.
I'm still lactose intolerant.
So if y'all didn't see on the little introductions, we asked a question about cheese, and Noah also could not answer that one, so we're sorry.
This church and dairy.
Yeah, Northeast loves dairy, so. Anyways though, so last week Drew continued our series called Love Thy Neighborhood, and we looked at the story of the Good Samaritan, right? And it opens with this man who's trying to justify his actions of why he isn't loving people necessarily the way Jesus calls him to. And so it's convicting, I think, for all of us, because I think we all come up with excuses of why we can't go out and love on our neighbors and reach out to people. But we're called to, right? We're called to draw near to those who are hurting, and we're called to love them and to meet their needs, just as Christ did throughout his life here on earth, and like he still does for us, which is incredible. But this morning, we are going to continue that series. And so Noah, if you don't mind, would you mind reading the passage for us from this morning?
I would love to. Okay, we're going to be reading out of John chapter 2, starting in verse 1. Bear with me here. On the third day, there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus also was invited to the wedding with his disciples. When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water," and they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the feast." So they took it. When the master of the feast tasted the water, now become wine, and did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. The master of the feast called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and when the people have drunk freely, then the poor wine. But you have kept the good wine until now." This is the first of his signs Jesus did at Cana at Galilee, and manifested his glory, and disciples believed in him.
Awesome. Thanks, Noah. So the first question I want to ask y'all, and we do this question every week because I think it's just so good to hear y'all's thoughts, but what was your main takeaway from this morning's message?
Mine was when Drew talked about how Jesus cares about the details of our lives. And I just think, even thinking about, like, God is the creator of the whole universe, and like, who am I compared to all of that? But he cares about my day-to-day, struggles and my life out of billions of people on this earth. And like, he proved that when he came and died for us. But along with that, like, don't be afraid to be vulnerable and intimate with Christ either. And I think, like, thinking of that relationship, it's super easy to kind of like shy away from that and feel like you're not really closely connected just because how big he is. But the thing is, like, that's what's so beautiful about the gospel and that relationship that he offers us, is that he wants us to be vulnerable and intimate with him more than anything. So I thought that was a really good reminder.
Yeah, it's so cool. The one thing that stood out to me is Drew had said we can't have impact without contact. And I think that's so important. Even nowadays when we have to like social distance and stuff, we can still have contact with people and impact them. But if we're just sitting in our house watching TV, that's not impacting people. And so that was really convicting and good. That stood out to me.
One of the things that I think really stood out to me was the servants in the story. How Mary told the servants, follow all the instructions that Jesus tells you to do, and they obey him almost without question. And I see that as how we are the servants of the Lord, and that's how we need to act when he calls us to do things in our lives.
Something that stuck out to me is two of Drew's points that kind of work together. Is verse 1 he said was, we don't walk away from a dying world, we walk into it. So this world is full of broken people and sinners and people who are lost from that. And a lot of times I think we forget that used to be us. And we had someone come in our lives and tell that to them and tell the gospel to them. So it's our job as Christians and followers of Christ to go to those lost people and spread the gospel to them. But not only just doing that and just going through the motions, like Kristen said, if we're going to follow Christ and resemble him, we need to care about the details. If we want to know what real love is, it's really looking at the little details of people's life and truly caring about it with our heart and not just with our actions.
Definitely. That's awesome. So we see that Jesus intentionally drew near to people. So do you interact with people not like you on purpose?
I'd say that I do interact with people that aren't like me, but I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if I actively seek that out in my life. Because it is nice to always see a different viewpoint and say, well, this is what the Lord tells me, and this is what we should be doing. So it is always nice to actively seek that out and try to make those connections, because like Jesus did, he turned social spaces into spiritual bridges for everybody that was around him.
Yeah. I think for me, like my natural habit is to go towards people who are more like me. And so like when I am around people who are not, like that is more of an on-purpose choice. And I think like when Jesus went to that party, right, it was his choice to go into that. And so Drew said we choose to be relatable and hospitable. So we have to make that choice to do that. And I'm like a little bit introverted. And so like even that can be intimidating, I think. Like you could be extroverted and that could be super easy, but it's that choice of going in there and like Noah said earlier, like the details, and just really choosing to be relatable and hospitable, and putting yourself in those situations where you can be people who aren't like you. So
yeah, I love that. Good job, y'all. So this story is about more than just a miracle, right? So how has Jesus repurposed your life, and how has he made your life better?
So when I first thought of this question, I was like, that's obvious. It's better because Jesus is in it. But I think it's interesting for me because I've grown up in the church, so I've always had Jesus. It felt like, but I remember when I first believed in Jesus, feeling this overwhelming joy and that I didn't have before. And I think that's so cool that Jesus brings this hope and joy in your life that you don't have without Jesus. And so it makes you want to like share that joy, because it's just overwhelming and overflowing in your life. And I think that's one thing that Jesus has brought into my life.
So this question I could go on and on about. I have definitely seen a big change in my life of how Jesus changed me and repurposed my life. But I would, for the sake of time, I think one thing that really sticks out to me, and it really goes well with this whole series. Before I was a believer, I was kind of a jerk. I really was. I was that bully. I picked on people a lot, and there was just no love in my heart. But now that Christ has revealed himself to me and he is with me, love is a big deal to me. It really is, because I know of how much being a jerk hurts people, and not having that love hurts people. So I never want to do that again, because I know how much pain it causes. So I feel like my purpose in life is just to love as many people as much as I can as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for opening your hearts and really sharing that with us and our students. But yeah, guys, so we want to encourage you. Right, we have these two things now. We have this idea of reaching, knowing that there's people out there in need, who need to be loved and need to know Jesus, and knowing that that takes action, right? And that takes going out and doing it. And so we want to encourage y'all to do it. It's awesome. Our church is doing these block parties as just a tangible way of going out and loving on those around them. And so we want to encourage you to partner, whether that's with your parents or maybe that's with your parents' life group, your life group, whatever that looks like. Be a part of that and be a part of reaching, right, as we say, the northeast corner of San Antonio with Jesus. But we do have a couple announcements for you guys as well. So this Wednesday, we are live streaming again at 7, only on YouTube, but y'all, it's so good. Haley is going to be leading our Devo. She's going to kill it, so you're going to want to be there for that. And we're also going to have a fun game, and it's just a chance for us to interact with you and just have fun with you guys.
I'm scared.
No worry.
Yeah, if you didn't watch last week's, go watch last week's. We smashed them eggs. They smashed them eggs on their own heads, funny enough. So it was awesome. So go watch that. And also in exciting news, we are kicking off another fun summer thing that we have done for a couple years now, which is Thursday. Oh my gosh, I just forgot the name. Thursday D groups. Oh my goodness, I've been doing it for so long and I suddenly forgot it. But yeah, Thursday D groups. So that is from 12 to 2, and that's an opportunity for you guys to come hang out with our interns and just be poured into and just be in community. So bring your lunch, bring a lawn chair. Y'all are going to be hanging out outside, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah. So we'd love to see you there for that as well. And let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. No. All right. So we love y'all. We have so many fun things planned for this summer. So stay tuned. Keep checking our social media. And hopefully we'll see you guys in person pretty soon as well. So we love y'all. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.